Hello my friends, today we're learning Bobe Basra Daf Kuf Mem Ches. We're going to start about 7 lines down Ibai Lehu. So I'm going to read the Gemara and then I'm going to explain. Ibai Lehu, Teke le'echad perotav le'acher. Bao, mi shi'er makom peri או לא שיער. אם תמצא לומר לאחר לא היה בשיעור לעצמו חוץ מפירותיו מהו. אמר רבא אמר רב נחמן, אם תמצא לומר דקל לאחד ופירותיו לאחר לא היה בשיעור מקום פרי דקל לאחד ושיער פירותיו לפניו שיער מקום פרי. מהייתה מכל לגבי נפשי בעין יפה משיער. So the Gemara over here asks a shaila, what's the din if someone gave a palm tree to one person and the fruit of the palm tree to someone else? So we're going to go over here with the Mahalach of Tosfos, as this is a continuation of the Gemara that we asked before, that the Gemara says that if a shchivra gave away the right to live in a house or the fruit of a tree, the person's not koine because he doesn't have what to be koine with. You need to have something, a goof to be koine for the Paris, for the house. You can give him the house, but you can't give him just the right to live in the house. So over here, the Gemara asking, what's the din if you gave the fruit of the palm tree as a present to Reuven and the fruit of the palm tree to Shimon? Do we say that he left Shimon the place where the fruit come out? I mean, the part in the tree where the fruit come out belonged to Shimon, and therefore it's tova sheyesh bo mamish, it's tova sheba'olam, and therefore you could give it to Shimon. So Reuven gets the tree, and that little part becomes Shimon's, and the fruit that come out Shimon's. Or maybe no, there's no shear. It's like tova shelo ba'olam, and therefore Shimon's not koina. Says the Gemara, if you want to tell me that if you gave Reuven the tree and Shimon the fruit, it doesn't work. What's the din if he says he gave Reuven the tree and he said, I'm leaving the fruit for myself? Maybe in that case, he is leaving himself more because he cares about himself more, like we're going to see in the second. So says Rav in the name of Rav Nachman, if you want to tell me that a palm tree to one and the fruit to someone else doesn't work, and the second one who gets the fruit doesn't get anything, if he left, if he gave a palm tree to Reuven and the fruit he left to himself, in that case, he left himself the fruit. Even though when he gave Reuven the tree and Shimon the fruit, Shimon's not going to anything. Says Rabbi Nachman, if he gave one person the tree and the other person is himself, he left for himself the fruit, then he does leave himself the place on the tree where the fruit comes out, and it's ba'olam. And the reason why it works better, because when a person's leaving for himself, he leaves himself b'ayin yafa, and that means b'ayin yafa, he makes sure that what he's leaving for himself works, and therefore he leaves himself the mokoim aperis. Continue the Gemara. Amar le Rav Abba le Rav Ashi, Anan ale Rab Shimon Lakit masninana. אמר רב שמעון לקי שמוכר בית לחברו ואמר לו, על מנת שדיוטה העליונה שלי דיוטה העליונה שלו, יבא לו בית לאחד ודיוטה לאחד מהו, מי היה בשיעור או לא? אם תמצא לומר בית לאחד ודיוטה לאחד לא היה בשיעור חוץ מדיוטה מהו. אמר רבא אמר רב נחמן, אם תמצא לומר בית לאחד ודיוטה לאחד לא היה בשיעור חוץ מדיוטה היה בשיעור. ואליבא דרב זיד אמר שאם רצה להוציא בזיזים מוציא. עלמא כיוון דשיער דיוטה במקום זיזים Nami Shir. So the Gemara continues and says that Rav Abba tells Rav Ashi that this thing that he said in the name of Rav and the name of Rav Nachman, that we learned it about the palm tree and the fruit, and you learn about that chilik between if he gave it to someone else and to himself, we say it about the din of Rav Shimon ben Lakish. Why? Rav Shimon ben Lakish said that someone who sells a house to his friend, and he told him on condition that Yuta Elyonim, I mean the roof, will stay mine. So the Yuta Elyoina, the roof stays his. Continues the Gemara Daf Kufim Chesamot base. The Bnei Yeshiva asked the Shaila, what's the din if someone said that Reuven should get the house and the roof should go to someone else? Do we say that when he left the roof to someone else, he's giving him not only the roof, he's giving him more schuyas, also schuyas in the bottom house? Like we're going to see soon that the extra schusim that we're talking about, that the guy on the roof could take out poles from his roof and hang on it stuff, or not? And then they asked, Bnei Yeshiva asked the Shaila, if you're going to tell me that if I gave Reuven the house and the due to the roof to someone else, that the second person gets the roof without the extra rights, only the roof itself. What then if someone gave someone the house and he left for himself the roof? In that case, when he's leaving it for himself, is he leaving also the extra rights or not? And on that, Rava, in the name of Rav Nachman, said, like we had it on Amud Aleph, saying about the palm tree and the fruit, here it's saying about the house and the roof. That even if you're going to tell me that if I gave Reuben the house and the roof to someone else, to Shimon doesn't get more than just a roof. But if I leave to myself the roof, that means I give Reuben the house and I leave myself the roof, then in that case, for sure, I'm leaving myself extra. And what the extra that I'm leaving, explains the Gemara, that Lefishitas Rav Zvid, we had it early on in Baba Basra, it means that the extra that I have in the roof is that only that I have the roof, that I could take out poles from the roof, it's called zizim, and I could use those zizim. So we could see that person leaves himself more than when he's giving a present to someone else. Continue the Gemara, let's see the Gemara inside. Amar Rabbi Yosef bar Minyamin Amar Rav Nachman Shchimra shekatav kol nechasav לאחרים רואים. אם במחלק מת קנו כולם, עמד חוזר בכולם. אם בנמלח מת קנו כולם, עמד אינו חוזר אלא באחרון. ודילמה יהיו נקמיים ועד היי, סתם דשכימרה עמד התייק ועד היי. So the Gemara says that Rabbi Yosef, the son of Yumi, says in the name of Rav Nachman. So we said earlier that it depends if a Shchimera gave away all his nechosim and he got better, so he could change his mind for the present. But if he gave part of the nechosim and he left for himself even something small, even if he gets better, he can't change his mind, because we could see he never gave it on das that he's going to die, because if he gave it on das that he's going to die, he would give everything away. So Yosef, the son of Yumi, says in the name of Nachman, Shchimera, someone on his deathbed, they wrote all his nechosim to someone. So we see, to other people, he gave some to Reuben, some to Shimon, some to Levi, etc. So we see, if he was giving it out to Reuben, Shimon, and Levi, and he didn't, so and if he gave Reuben a part, Shimon a part, Levi a part, and then he died, so everyone's koina, because like Metna Shchimera works. But if he got better, he could change his mind about. He could get back all these presents, even though that when he gave Reuven the Chur, he never gave all of the Chosim, he never gave yet Shimon, he never gave Levi yet. There's still other Chosim, no, but we assume that he's giving them out. Obviously, he doesn't have to give Reuven, Shimon, and Levi all in the same second. We see that he's giving out all of the Chosim, and he gave them totally all of them out. So we said if a person gives B'mat Nashkimra all of the Chosim, if he gets better, he could ask for it back. So he could ask for it back even though they gave it small, but he was giving it out. But if he would change his mind, meaning he gave Reuben and then he thought about it and it didn't look like he was planning to give Shimon, and then later he said, you know what, I want to give this to Shimon. And then he stopped and he thought about it and then he said, you know what, I also want to give to Levi. And then he gave away at the end of the day all his nechosim. So if he died, they're all koina, because Matnas Shchimera works. What happens if he got better, if he was Omad? So he can't change his mind only for the last present that he gave Levi. Why? Because when he gave Reuven, he never planned to give Shimon. So when he gave Reuven, it wasn't Kol Nechosov, he was leaving out. That means he wasn't a Matnas Shchimera because he was leaving for himself some. Then when he gave Shimon, he was still leaving for himself some because he has a Levi's present. And then when he gave his last possession to Levi, that's the only possession that he gave away and he never left for himself anything. Therefore, if he got better, he can't change his mind. Only in the matana they gave Levi, he could get that back because that was a matana, they never left anything to himself. On that they ask the Gemara, it doesn't make sense. Why are you telling me that when he thought about it, after he gave Reuven, he thought about it, and only afterwards he gave Shimon? We say that it was a new intention, but at the beginning when he gave Reuven, he wasn't planning to give Shimon. Maybe he was thinking, okay, I gave Reuven, now what should I give Shimon? And then when he gave Shimon, he thought, oh, what should I give Levi? And then he made up his decision. But from the beginning, he decided to give everything away. So why is it different from the first case when he gave Reuven, Shimon, and Levi one after each other, that we say that it's all considered one matana? On that, the Gemara answers that we have a umdina, stome, the shchimera, someone who's passing away, he first thinks, who do I want to give my possessions to? And once he comes to the conclusion about all his possessions, then he starts giving them out, and therefore he'll give Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. But in our case, after he gave Reuven, He stopped. Why did he stop? Did you not think already, do you want to give Shimon? Obviously, he never thought you wanted to give Shimon, and this idea to give Shimon is a new idea. And then after he gave Shimon, you thought again about it, and then only afterwards he gave Levi. It's a new idea. So therefore, we don't look at it all as one present, and therefore only on Levi's matona he can get back, but Reuven and Shimon's matona he can't get back. Said the Gemara, Amar Rav Acha bar Minyumi, Amar Rav Nachman, שכימרה שכתב כל נכסיו לאחרים ועמד אינו חוזר, חיישין שמא יש לו נכסים במדינה אחרת. ואלא מתניתין דקטני לא שיער קרקע כלשהו, אין לו מתנה, אין מתנתו קיימת. איך היא משכחת לה? אמר רב חמא, ואומר כל נכסיי. אמר ברב אשי אמר במוחזק לן דלתלה. So again, Rav Acha, the son of Minyumi, says in the name of Rav Nachman, someone who's on his deathbed, they wrote all his possessions to other people, and he got better. He doesn't get back these presents they gave, even though they gave everything they had. Why? Because we're choishish. Maybe in Australia he owns another property, and therefore we said if you never gave everything away, if you left for yourself anything, the matona, even if you get better, the matona is a matona. So we're choishish. Maybe he has a piece of land in Australia. Ask the Gemara, if so, our Mishnah that says that if he left himself something, if he gave everything away, if he gets back the matona, if he gets better, what's the case of the Mishnah? Says Rav Choma, he explains Rav Choma, Teretz number 1, in our Mishnah Stoma, where he said, all my possessions should go to this person or to these people. Therefore, we don't have to be choishes that in Australia maybe he really left himself a land because he said all his possessions. So also that possession in Australia belongs to the people who gave it to a present. And therefore he never left himself anything. That's the case where if he got better, he gets back his possessions. Mara, the son of Rav Ashi, says a different teretz. It's talking about not where he said all my nechosim are going to Reuven or all my nechosim going to Reuven and Shimon Levi. No, it's enough they gave this land to Reuven, this land to Shimon, this land to Levi, or all these 3 lands to Reuven. But it's talking about where we have chazaka, we know this person, and we have a chazaka that he has no other land. So therefore we're not choishish that he has other land, and therefore we say that if he gets better, he gets it back. And when Rav Nachman said the case that we are choishish, maybe he has land in Australia, it means we don't have any chazaka. We don't know if he has land elsewhere or not. And therefore we are choishish that he has land elsewhere, and therefore we say the matana continues. Says, continue the Gemara, Ibailu, chazara b'miktzat ave chazara b'kula או לא. תשמע, כולה לראשון ומקצתן לשני, שני קנה ראשון לא קנה, מה אלא בשמת? לא, בשמת. אכן המסתבר, מדקתן לספר, מקצתן לראשון וכולם לשני, ראשון קנה, שני לא קנה. היא אמרת בשלימי בשעמד, משום אחי שני לא קנה. אלי אמרת בשמת, הוויו לקני, אמר לי רבי אמר לרב אשי, ותאה בינם לי בשעמד. היא אמרת בשלימי חזרה במקצתה וחזרה בכולה, היינו דשני מיד קנה. אלי אמרת חזרה במקצת לא וחזרה בכולה, נהבי כמחלק, ולחד מנה לא לקני. והלכתה חזרה במקצתה וחזרה בכולה. רשע משכחת לה בין שמת בין שעמד, ספר לא משכחת לה אלא כשעמד. So the Gemara asked the Shaila, the Bnei Yeshiva asked the Shaila, what happens? Before we start, we have to take an assumption that's very important, that the Shchibara could change his mind, he could decide to give all his possessions to Reuven, and before he dies he says, you know what, I want to give it to Shimon. And then he passes away, so everything goes to Shimon. The Shaila of the Gemara is the following. A Shchibara gave Reuven his possessions, his field, let's say he has only 1 field. And afterwards he said, I want to give half the field to Shimon. So first he gave the whole field to Reuven, and now he comes later on and says, no, I want to give half the field to Shimon. Does that mean when he says half the field to Shimon, that means that the other half he wants to keep for himself? Or it means the other half will still stay Reuven, they just don't want the Reuven to take the whole field, they want Reuven only to get half. So, it says the Gemara, I'll bring you a raya. Come and listen, it said in the Brisa, if someone gave all his possessions to Reuven, to the first person, and afterwards he gave Shimon part of his possessions. So it says that Shimon, the second one, is koina, and the first one is not koina. Said the Gemara, is it not talking about that the one who gave these presents, the Shchibara who gave it, died actually? And we could see that Shimon is koina, Reuven is not koina. I mean, the second is koina, the first is not koina. Why is that? Elomai must be that once you give part of the present that you already gave to Reuven to Shimon, it means that you regret from the whole present that you gave to Reuven. You don't want to leave anything, because otherwise they would say that Shimon's koina his part and Reuven's koina what's left. And since it says the Sheni is koina and the first one not, it must be that Chazara is once you gave someone else a present that you gave, you're choizer from the whole present. So like, no. It's talking about where the Shchimera died, it's talking about where the Shchimera got better. And therefore, Shimon's matona is lasting because he only gave him a little bit of a matona. And Reuven's doesn't ask because he gave everything, he never left anything for himself. The Gemara is going to ask on this Akasha in a bit, but let's continue this a second. Said in Gemara, it's also mistaba that the Bryce is talking about when he got better. How do I know that? And it's not talking about where he died. How do I know that? Because in the Sefer of the Bryce it says if he gave part of his possessions to Reuven, to the first one, and afterwards he gives all his possessions, also what he gave the first one to the second one, it said in the Bryce, so the first one is koina, and the second one is not koina. Something more, if you want to tell me that the Bryce is talking about where he got better, so it makes sense why the second one's not koina. Because since he gave everything to the second one afterwards, and we said when you give everything and you get better, you get back your present. So therefore the Shein is not koina. Now Shein in the first one, he gave him only part and he left for himself. That's why the second one is. That's why the first one's koina. But if you're going to tell me that it's talking about where this Shchimera died, they should both be koina. Because the second one, the first one, what's left for him, and the second one also. So Ravim, told Ravashi, so Elamai, we can see the Bryce is talking about where he got better. Says Ravim to Ravashi, very good, the Bryce is talking about where he got better. You can still bring a raya. Why? What's a raya? Because if you're going to tell me Chazor b'miktsas as Abi Chazor, meaning that once he gave Reuven and then he gave Shimon afterwards, it means you don't want to give anything to Reuven. Then it makes sense in the Brisa that the Sheni is koina. Then what did it say in the Reisha again? That if you gave it all to the first one and then he gave partly to the Sheni is koina. So very good, you're telling me it's somewhere where the Shchimera got better. But it's still a raya. Why? Because if you're going to tell me that if you give a little bit, and then you give one person, then you gave the second one, you're choizer totally from the first one, that's why the Sheni is koina. Even though that the Shchimera got better, because he gave everything to Reuven, and then he gave to Shimon half. So we're saying that when he gave to Shimon half, that means he's regretting the whole present to Reuven. So he only gave Shimon half and he left himself the other half. So therefore, when the Shchimera gets better, he can't take it away from the Sheni because he only gave him part of the Nechosim. And we said that when you get better, you could only get back your Nechosim if you give everything away. And he never gave everything away because he left Reuven's half. But if you're going to tell me, Chazor b'miktsas lo yav Chazor, that means if you gave Reuven a full field and then he gave it to Shimon half of it, it means he's still leaving Reuven half. So, why did the matana to the Sheni to Shimon last? When he gave Shimon half, the other half is still Reuven. So that means he's mechalik is the chosim. We said when a person is mechalik to Reuven and Shimon is the chosim, and he passes away, since he gave to all of the people all his nechosim, he can take the matana back from everyone. So why did it say that the Sheni is koina? The Sheni shouldn't be koina because he left himself half. Sorry, he never left himself anything. Reuven is koina the other half. He never left anything, and we said when he never left anything, and you get up, you get it back. So why is Levi Shimon koina? Why the Sheni koina Shimon? It must be that b'matona b'miktsas, that once you give a second matona, it cancels the first matona. And therefore, the Shimon's koina, because Shimon, when you gave Shimon, you left the other half to yourself, and that's why it's koina. Said the Gemara and the halacha is that Chazor b'miktsas, once you give a present to one, and then you gave the present to the second one, when we talk about Shchimera, he means he was regretting from the whole matana he gave Reuven. So if he gave Reuven a full field and then he gave it to Shimon, half of it, it means he's regretting the whole matana for Reuven. It means he's only giving half to Shimon and the other half he's leaving for himself. And we explained the ratio of this price that we brought is talking about, doesn't matter if he died, doesn't matter if he got better, Shimon's koina and Reuven's not koina. And the Sefer is only talking about when he got better, not when he died, because as we explained, when he died, it can't fit in. Said more another shaila, Ibai lehu ikdish kol lechasav ha'maut. Mi amrina kol legabe ikdish gamar u'makni, udina kol legabe nefshe lo gamar u'makni. If kin kol lechasav mao, mi amrina keven da'af la'niyim kashirin gamar u'makni, udina kol legabe nefshe lo gamar u'makni. חילק כל נכסיו לעניים מים, מי אמרינן צדקה ועד הימים גמר ומקני, יודעים לכל לגבי נפשי לא גמר ומקני תיקו. So the Gemara Shaila the follows. We said that if he gave a present, a shlimra gave all his nechosim, he could get them back if he gets better. What the Shaila, if he didn't give them as a present, he was makdish to bedek buys all his possessions, and then he got better. Do we say by hegdish, even if he gets better, he doesn't expect it to get it back. It wasn't only on condition that he's gonna die. It means he wants to give hegdish, and even if he gets better, it stays hegdish. Or maybe when you're not leaving anything for yourself, for sure you want to leave yourself, and you only gave it to hekdesh on condition that you're going to die, and if you're not dead, you get it all back. Shaila number 1. The Rashbam explained that the Shaila number 2 is intim tziloima. Intim tziloima, that by hekdesh everything's hekdesh, even if he gets better. What to din if you didn't makdish it? A shchimra was mafkir, made efka all his nechosim. Do we say, since he's giving everyone, also he's mafkir it, bein ta'anim, bein ta'ashirim, he wasn't giving it specifically to specific people. So it means he's fed up of his nechosim, he wants to give them all away, and therefore even if he dies, even if he gets better, he doesn't want to get it back in the hefka schal. Or no, maybe for himself, he for sure wants to leave something. And therefore, if he gets better, he could take it back from Hefka. Explain the Rashbam that now the Gemara says, if you're going to tell me that by Hefka, since he was mafki and he wasn't makbid who to give it to, it means that it's for everyone. What's the din if he gave his nechosim away, but he gave it not to his friends, he gave it to poor people, all his possessions away. He was a shchimera, now he get better. Do we say tzedakah for sure? It's not like giving presents. For sure he meant to say, even if I get better, I'm giving this tzedakah, and therefore even if he gets better, he doesn't get it back. Or maybe no, it's like giving presents. And since we said if someone gives him shchimera, gives all his possessions away and he gets better, he gets it back. So also here, he'll get it back if he gets better. And the Gemara says that these three shaylas, Teku, Tishbi, Yetaretz, Kushis, Viboyes. Again, Mazel Tov, today is a year since I've married, Baruch Hashem, since I've made my biggest and last decision in my life. And I'm very grateful to my wife for a special year, and she pushed me all the way through to continue these shiurim. And even though that was difficult at times, traveling different situations, and I'm very appreciative for that. And I'm very appreciative, I want to thank Hashem that I was matzliach to be masmid and continue to give the shia, even though that I had times that were difficult. I thought, I'd get lots of students, lots of people, talmidim, to listen, and it didn't go as well as I thought. And to come to the realization that the most important is for me to give it, that I learn the Gemara better, I go over it a few times, it's not as just reading it once and going to the next stuff. So I'm very grateful that I was matzliach. I don't think I've ever was a masmid so long in my life. Holidays, not holidays, away, here, there, always to continue and to keep going strong. Thank you, Hashem. And I daven that I should have good shalom bayis and continue my good marriage, and I should continue manage to matzliach, to be masmid about different things that are important for me, and not to give up. Should all be blessed. Thank you for listening.